Let's revisit the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, which has adjourned until Monday. Mthokozisi Thwala, the state's sixth witness, was back on the stand today, and his cross-examination has concluded. The state's next witness is expected to take to the stand next week. Who that will be, well, we'll get a sense of that with our reporter Mnisi, who's been following events for us. And so, Mnisi, as we wrap up or take a look at the cross-examination of Mthokozisi Thwala, just remind our viewers who Mthokozisi Thwala is to Senzo Meyiwa.
So, Mthokozisi Thwala, as you'll remember, is a long-time friend who comes back, all the way back from KwaZulu-Natal. He told the court about his relationship with him and how he met him. He said that, it was actually his father that had met Senzo first, because his father was a famous footballer who was accomplished, and young aspiring footballers would often come to his father to speak to him for guidance on how to rise through the ranks of football. And Senzo Meyiwa was one of those people, so he then met him through that. He also testified that Mnisi as well, who was Senzo's wife, was also a long-time friend. They've known each other since primary school, so he was quite close to not only Senzo Meyiwa, but also Mnisi as well. So the pair got married, and of course, that means their friendship then became the way that it did. He testified to do that. He was quite uncomfortable with the relationship that Kelly Khumalo had with Senzo Meyiwa, and also because of the friendship that he had, not only with Senzo, but with Mnisi as well.
He was also uncomfortable about the relationship with the media, because there's a book that was published. He didn't want to be part of the book, but Senzo Meyiwa's father was like, no, contribute. This book will go towards informing people about Senzo Meyiwa. But something happened. What happened?
Well, he talks about the book and how the author of the book wrote, he sat down, finally decided, well, I'm going to do this if I'm being asked by the Meyiwa family to participate. He participated in the book, and when the book was ready before publishing, he went through the book, and there were some inaccuracies and errors that he wanted fixed before, it could be published. He says he read the book in about 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, and then reverted back to the author to say, this is not what I said, and I know that this person did not put it like this. Now, this is now in reference to other people, and he asked that errors be fixed, but he says the book went to print and all those errors were not fixed. So from that point of view, then, he had a bad experience with the media, and that is why he did not want to participate in the Netflix documentary, which a couple of people had participated in. This is the documentary that aired a couple of days before the first initial trial started. He said he did not want to participate in that, and one of the reasons why he did not want to do that was because of the bad experience that he had had with the car. But it was quite interesting looking at how his, evidence was linked with that of other witnesses.
Yeah, because the defense had fun with that, right? At some point, just pointing out, well, this witness managed to finish reading a book in 2 days, and so when it comes to the statements that he made to the police, in total, he made 4 statements. He did not write any. He did not write any of those statements. There's only one particular statement, also in 2017, where he went to the beach, and that statement was written at the beach. But the defense essentially asking, well, why would you not read it but attach your signature to the document that will be read in court?
It's essentially one of the consistent questions that we've been hearing, particularly from the defense. If you listen to Advocate Mshololo's cross-examination right at the beginning, she starts with a signature question around the qualifications, which of course the state objected to, but essentially she goes on to try and establish his frame of mind, where he was at the time, how old he was, not in so many words, but saying, what I want to understand is that you were no longer a child when all these statements were made, which, for example, makes her believe that you were competent to depose such statements and you understood exactly what you were doing. Tumelo's response to that was, well, it was the first time that I had been through such first time since I had gone through this, kind of incident and was my first time making a statement. So it was quite an experience for him.
Okay, that wraps up Mthokozisi Thwala's testimony. On Monday, do we know who's going to take to the stand?
We don't know yet. You'll remember the state is keeping its cards very close to its chest to do about who it will bring. But it's clear at this point that Kelly Khumalo is not one of those witnesses. Quite interesting what came out, in fact, today about the issue of the ID documents. You'll remember that Mthokozisi was asked about the ID and where it was, and he said that he had received a call from Senzo's family requesting for the ID because, of course, funeral preparations. But he later went to Kelly and asked her about the ID, and she said, well, the ID was with me, is with me, and she refused to give it to him. Today, that question was taken forward, in fact, to say, did she give you reasons why she did not want to give you that ID? And she said, well, I can only give the ID to Senzo's brother and father, but when they arrived, she refused to give them that particular ID, but ended up giving it to them because there was, of course, the police and other people. Why that particular information is important is because you'll remember, which was referenced, in fact, during cross-examination, the testimony of Colonel Steyn, who says Senzo's SIM card, there was a SIM swap that was conducted on Senzo's SIM card, and he was asked, who do you think may have done that SIM swap? And he says, well, I don't know, but it may be someone, or it is someone who was close to him, but also had Senzo's ID.
Linda Mnisi, thank you very much for that update.